Look how much barrel is on this bat. It goes from here to here. So I know that using the torpedo bat, this gave me more room for error. So guys have been trying to find the right bat for years that will allow them to have more room for error.
Torpedo bats are getting ordered in masses this week. Suddenly every bat company's like, everybody come in. I know it's the weekend. Everybody come in. We need to make 20 million torpedo bats for every baseball player on the planet so they can all hit dingers every time they step up and make any type of contact. But Cam, talk us through what you saw this weekend, which obviously just caught storm in Major League Baseball on Saturday. The Yanks put together a 9-homer performance. They scored 20 runs against the Brewers. They swept them this weekend, so great weekend for them. Judge doesn't use this, but as soon as the torpedo bat was revealed and promoted to a worldwide audience via the Yankees broadcast, everyone went nuts in different directions. So what did you think?
Well, first off, what I thought as a baseball fan watching the game is I know there are a ton of home runs hit, but I couldn't help but, come to the point of, hey, how many of these 15 home runs were the pitches middle? And I'm going to tell you, out of 15 of those homers, 13 of them were really well-executed pitches. Ben Rice hit a slider down and in, got his hands in, great swing, tip your hat. Anthony Volpe got to a pitch up and in, inside corner, pulled his hands in, got to it. Other than that, I saw a lot of 89 to 93. We're talking about in the league where guys are locked in, are, taking extra, swings and reps to make sure they can hit the fastball. And what they got during that Brewers series was a bunch of BP. We're talking about the New York Yankees who, you look at this lineup, and Kratz, I hope he'll agree. I said it before, Goldschmidt will be reinvigorated. I think the best version of Jazz Chisholm will be in New York. You have guys like Aaron Judge, Anthony Volpe, another year in of experience. They take advantage of mistakes. So before we get to the torpedo bats, let's talk about the Brewers and the mistakes that they made. I'm questioning that pitching staff right now. Nothing overpowering other than Freddie Peralta in that rotation. The bullpen didn't impress me at all. How about giving Yankees credit for taking advantage of a lot of Brewers' mistakes?
Yeah, 100%. And I'll go right to torpedo bat. Believe me, you can look up at my stats. I could have used a boat oar and I probably still wouldn't have gotten it. Nothing illegal was done. A lot of the videos by prominent people. It's satire. Okay, fans, relax. These bats have been out there for a while. It is hard to hit a big league baseball. It is hard to do it against Nestor throwing 89 cutters up and in, but he only had 91 on his speedball, which wasn't getting anybody, and so they didn't have to really speed up, or it wasn't that much of a difference. And they brought guys in that most likely aren't in games because they were blowouts. So it compounded. Credit to the Yankees. Credit to the Yankees for taking care of business against a pitching staff that, you know what? They were minus a lot of velocity. Freddie Peralta, I think, struck out 7 or 8 the first day, gave up a few runs. But you sit there and you go, this lineup is good. If they're going to be great, it's not going to be because of torpedo bats. It's going to be because they take their walks, they pass it to the next guy, and they minimize their strikeouts.
Give the people what they want. Let's bring that Jazz tweet up, since that's the most recent one that we've gotten, and I'm sure he's getting all kinds of love from anti-Yankee people on socials. He said, okay, explanation. The barrel is bigger and within MLB regulation. For the idiots that say it's moved to the label, you're an idiot. Nobody's trying to get jammed. You just move the wood from the parts you don't use to the parts you do. You're welcome. No more stress for y'all. Cam, we also learned about a number of other players that are using bats like this. So even though that MIT crazy dude who came up with it for the Yanks looks like a genius, Ryan Jeffers for the Twins was using it this weekend. Junior Caminero, Yandy Diaz. You don't have a torpedo bat. What's that? That looks like the old school bat.
Nico Horner was using one in yesterday's game. Junior Camarillo was using it last year. Like Kratz said, these bats have been around. But the point, I just want to make a point. When I came up, all my idols used this, C271. The sweet spot on the C271 is about from here to here. Very small, very little room for error. I realized very shortly I wasn't good enough to use that bat. So one time, I was very fortunate enough to come across a guy named Nelly Cruz, one of the better power hitters that we've seen in our game. He used this bat. This is a NC-23. Look how much barrel is on this bat. It goes from here to here. So I know that using the torpedo bat, this gave me more room for error. So guys have been trying to find the right bat for years that will allow them to have more room for error. Like Jazz stated, it's simple. They talked about it with Anthony Volpe. He's a guy that naturally hits the ball down the label a little bit. Okay, so let's move that sweet spot. The game continues to adjust. They do it in golf with their pitching wedges, with their irons, right? Trying to minimize or maximize spin, trying to cut out slices and fades. This is a part of the game. It's within the rules. Kratz said it's all legal. So just because it's the Yankees, there's going to be a bigger fuss about it. But how about, guys on the mound do a better job of executing? And hey, at the end of the day, the next series coming up is a big one. The Arizona Diamondbacks, they get to see the Yankees, the big three. They get to see just how much those torpedo bats really help the Yankees out.
Oh, my
Boom.
goodness. That bat
That
sounds
was a
like
bat
it still
drop.
wants to hit.
Bat drop instead of a mic
Still
drop.
live.
That was good. That was helpful.
Still live, Kratzy.
Still knocks.
Still knocks. More in a minute, but first, a quick word from our sponsor of this video. FT fam, I hope you have as much confidence as Penelope right now, who is an avid Spot and Tango fan, okay? And she uses the code FOUL, Kratz, because this is a personalized dog food subscription service that prevents you, of course, from going to the store to pick up the food, and she just gets the highest quality unkibble. That is what they're known for. And I know you love the quiz part of it too.
It's a super quick quiz, but it lets you give them the information and they tailor it to what is needed based on their age, size, activity level, all things that are custom for each and every one of your dogs.
Yeah, human grade ingredients in that unkibble. USDA meat, fruits, and veggies that are approved there. No artificial stuff, no preservatives. They've got the exclusive deal for the FT fam for a limited time. Go to spotandtango.com/foul. Use code FOUL to get 50% off your first order. That's spotandtango.com/foul. It's spotandtango.com/foul, code foul. And now back to the video. Can I show Trevor Megill's line? Because you're getting this via quote, right? From the New York Post. We put it up on our socials as well. He said when he was asked about the bats, it's the Yankees, so they'll let it slide. I didn't get to see any video of this, but do you think he was kidding, or is he actually, a little ticked because he's playing for a small market team, thinking that the Yankees get the advantages first? I mean, what do you guys take from this one?
Well, you know what? I do know Trevor, and he's a type of guy, good dude. I don't think he was being serious about this very, very much. I think all the guys know. All the bats are checked. All the bats go through a process to get approved by MLB to make sure they're, they come up as regulation. I don't think Trevor was too serious. I think he might have just been, making fun of the situation. I don't know. I would hope he's not that serious.
Yeah, I would hope he's not that serious either. But the model that I swung from 2006 till 2020 was an I-13. The original I-13 was Pete Incaviglia. Pete Incaviglia went straight from college, hitting like 49 dingers, right to the big leagues. So he said, make me a bat that's exactly like my Omaha Classic 1, whatever the bat that he used was. So the person who made the billets, the person who took the billets and spun the wooden bats, just made an exact digital replica of his metal bat. The barrel was like 2 3/4 or 2 5/8. I'm not sure what the barrels were at that time for metal bats. And so the original I-13 is just a monstrous barrel. They have regulations now. The I-13 is a much skinnier barrel, still long, but much skinnier. So yes, Trevor Megill, if he's being for real, it was probably said in the heat of the moment because he's since retracted it. But I do like some sarcasm, so I choose to believe this was sarcastic.
We've had him on the show. We can try and get him back on to talk about this at some point soon. The Yankees also started off Saturday with back-to-back-to-back homers. They were like, yeah, sure, let's try Goldschmidt at the top, then Belly. Then obviously Judge had a ridiculous weekend. The offense was clearly humming. Is Volpe the poster child for something like this, Cam? Because, when you read some of the stories, they were talking about how he was consistently not hitting the ball on the sweet spot, right? So they said, hey, let's redistribute the weight to make a bat that fits what his strength is. So is it that simple with someone like him? Judge obviously was like, yeah, have you seen what I've done in the past few years? I'm not switching crap right now.
That was the best quote. That was the best quote, actually. To answer your point about Volpe, as I thought about this, I just thought it was genius, right? I thought it was genius when you talk about analytics. And this is where people really get caught up on it. And this is where analytics becomes important, right? Instead of just giving you information, it's giving players the right information to maximize their chances to have success. So when you talk about Volpe or somebody understanding, hey, man, you hit a lot of balls down the barrel. Let's just redistribute that weight right there and don't change a thing. Keep doing what you're doing because that's just been your tendency. So, I think it's genius. I think, the analytic department should get a lot of credit. And the gentleman who is now with the Marlins who I guess came up with the idea for Anthony Volpe. But I think it's just, playing chess, not checkers, staying ahead of the curve when you talk about all of the information and all of the science behind the game. I think that's just a great job by the Yankees of hiring people to stay ahead of the curve.
There's somebody that the name is, he didn't have a tremendous career, but he was a big leaguer for 4 years. Tuffy Gosewich came to spring training in 2012, and he had this brand new bat that he went to somebody who measured his hands, measured his swing speed and everything. It was like a R161 handle, which is super, super thick, and a C271 head. It was like the two things that I hated about bats more than anything in the world. Like, it was like the worst bat ever. And I was like, bro, this thing is brutal. First at bat in spring training, opposite field dinger. Didn't hit a dinger opposite field the entire season the year before in the minor leagues. And he went oppo. You think dudes weren't in there at least trying to swing that table leg that he was bringing up there as a bat? Like, guys are going to try it. Guys are definitely going to try it. If it helps Volpe, awesome. Is it going to make him a 30 home run guy? Pump the brakes.
That's the thing. Yeah, the general
people
public
still
looks
forget.
At this. Yeah, Cam, and they just think it's going to get one, and it's going to automatically lead to more sweet spot contact. For some guys, yes, but like you guys are mentioning, everybody is a different hitter, and we don't get into the intricacies like this so often, but that's what we need to do here.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't wait till we get back on here in a month from now when guys are in slumps and they're like, "Oh, what happened with the torpedo bat?" I'm like, "Yeah, because you still have to play the game." At some point, pitchers, we're still in late March, about to be in early April. Guys are still working the kinks out. Pitchers are going to start executing even more. You're going to see, things start to even itself out. I do believe that. So it's early. The Brewers made a lot of mistakes. At some point in this game, you have to tip your cap and go, hey, Yankees, way to go taking advantage of mistakes. Aaron Boone, way to go putting Goldschmidt at the top because he's been a Brewer killer his entire career. Hey, managing, execution, it all went into part of it. I don't think the Torpedo Bats had a lot to do with it.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.